What is up, guys? Welcome back to another video on EI Entertainment Studios, back at it with another debate episode. So today's debate episode is going to be based upon Godzilla 2017 versus Mecha Shin Gigan. But before I do start the debate video, I do give shoutouts on debate videos, so please forgive me, but I checked my comment section and I believe I got everybody. But just in case if I didn't, please let me know and I'll be more than happy to give you a shout out on the next one. Starting off with Gaming Man, Epic Vlogs 1234, and Kobe's. If you want a shout out, please just comment in this video. And try to make it on a separate comment. Try not to respond to another person's comment, because then it makes it harder for me to see. So if you want a shout out, just let me know. I am more than happy to give a shout out to anyone. But just if you're gonna do it on a your own comment. Don't respond to anyone's comment asking for a shout out, because then sometimes I miss that and it kind of makes it harder. But anyways, guys, let's get on with this video. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna talk about these two monsters. First, we're gonna talk about Mecha Shin Gigan. After talking about Mecha Shin Gigan, we're gonna go on his abilities, his backstory, origins, characteristics. After we do that, we're gonna go and focus on Godzilla 2017. We're gonna talk about him, his origins, his abilities, so on and so forth. After we assess these two creatures, we're gonna put them into scenarios, kind of testing their abilities and seeing if these two monsters were going to fight, who would win in a fight on the big screen. Very interesting. So let's begin with Mecha Shin Gigan. So the backstory of Mecha Shin Gigan starts off. So Mecha Shin Gigan came to be after Shin Godzilla was injected with the coagulant that froze him. Engineers and scientists decided to make a super weapon to fight Shin Godzilla when it wakes up. Using the DNA, an alien force saw the humans' intentions and decided to donate a dead Gigan body to defend themselves, so they repaired Gigan's missing limbs with robotic ones and injected Gigan with Shin DNA for adapting powers. But when they finished the project, a greater threat was here: Godzilla Earth. Dun dun dun. Okay, so the height of Mecha Shin Gigan is around 287 meters tall. So he's a little bit shorter than Godzilla Earth, but definitely in there for fairness of height. Okay, now abilities. What we're gonna do with the abilities is I'm just gonna go briefly over them really quick, alright? And then after that, I'm gonna go over everything else. We'll come back to the abilities, and I'll do a full analysis. I'll explain everything one by one. All right, that's fair enough. So starting off with the abilities would be robotic evolution. Robotic adaptation, atomic lasers, EMP outflow, solar shield, weakness scan, and hologramic cloning. As I said, I'm just gonna quickly go over these, and then we're gonna go over everything else of Mecha Shin Gigan when I come back, and we're gonna do a full analysis on these guys, so don't even worry about it. So aggression levels on Mecha Shin Gigan are high. Territorial, yes, he is territorial of Earth. He's an Earth defender now. Humans engineered him so he will defend Earth from all these other monsters. Biome, he can pretty much reside in Earth and space, being that he is Gigan. Okay, so that's pretty much it. So let's go back to the abilities and focus on that. Starting off with robotic adaptation. Well, this comes from Shin Godzilla because, as we see, by the way, if you haven't seen the movie of Shin Godzilla, I'm sure everybody has at this point, but I'm sure, maybe someone hasn't seen it, there are big spoilers pretty much about the whole film. But anyways, as I was saying, robotic adaptation comes from the DNA of Shin Godzilla, as Shin Godzilla is known to adapt to situations. Moving on to his third form, when he grows, well, no, actually his second form, he forms legs. Third form, he has his atomic, he has his fins, that he has heat radiators that makes him cool down. His fourth form, he's keep on adapting, right? He's looking at humans and he's recreating humans, trying to adapt to the situation, trying to create new ways of a defense against humans. At the end of the film, we see him kind of recreating humanoids because he saw humans. He's trying to adapt to the world that he's seeing. And even one of the scientists say that even if he wanted to, at this point, he can even grow wings at the level of his evolution. So he's a very adaptive creature, and that DNA is put into Mecha Shin Gigan, so he can adapt to any situation that his opponent gives him to, which is a huge advantage, very big advantage. Now, atomic lasers again comes from the Shin Godzilla perspective. As Shin Godzilla had a atomic laser, the same DNA is taken from Shin Godzilla and placed into Mecha Shin Gigan. EMP outflow. Now, he is a robotic and does have EMP placed into him, so non-stop Mecha Shin Gigan is pouring out EMP, just pouring out EMP over his surroundings to his opponent non-stop. That's an interesting one that he has. Moving on, a solar shield. So as long as the sun is out, he has a non-stop constant shield. It's not a recharging shield because if the sun goes out, the shield's gone. But when the sun is out, he is shielded non-stop. Nothing is going to stop that shield. It's a strong shield, solar shield, and sun is one of the most strongest sources out there. The solar shield is protecting Mecha Shin Gigan from many things. But from moving on from that, he has a weakness scan, which is very interesting. Before he fights his opponent, or even when he's fighting his opponent, Mecha Shin Gigan is overgoing a scan that pretty much is scanning his opponent and assessing the weaknesses, so he can create missiles on a specific term in his body right there. He can make missiles in his body right there that have something to do with the weakness, or he's gonna attack the weak points of his opponents, which is a very interesting ability here. But now moving on to that, as I was saying, he has a hologramic cloning ability. Now, yes, this is a very interesting one. The hologramic cloning ability is very interesting, because what he does is he makes a hologram of himself for his opponent when he wants to. But when he does this, right, whenever he makes his hologram, it's a hologram. So his opponent can't really hit the hologram. So he's going to start confusing his opponent, and if he's lucky, the opponent is going to start aiming at the hologram. And when he does that, well, guess what? When he aims at the hologram, Mecha Shin Gigan is free to regenerate anything from hurts or just plain out hit his opponent. It's a very strong, intensive ability. Okay, well, that pretty much sums up Mecha Shin Gigan for you right there. That pretty much sums him up for you, yeah. So, what we can do now is we can go back and we can pretty much focus on Godzilla 2017 now and look at his abilities. So first of all, before we even start on his abilities or anything of that nature, we all know Godzilla 2017 is the biggest Godzilla of all time. Now I think standing at 312 meters tall, somewhere around there after Godzilla the Planet Eater. He is an anime Godzilla. He is not in a live action film, but he is massive. Massive. He's strong. He even defeated King Ghidorah in his latest film. He is a gigantic Godzilla. And the origins are more of a plant origin. Now, abilities are interesting. So starting off, he has a charged particle breath. Well, what that means is it's like an atomic breath, only much more stronger. Spoiler alert: if you have not seen Godzilla versus Destroya, right? That's something similar to a charged particle breath. It's a more like a steroided atomic breath. You could you could make that argument. Now, going off of that, also has a red spiral atomic breath, which is literally Godzilla 1995's atomic breath. So as I said, a more stronger atomic breath. These are two similar outflows of abilities. Now, continuing on with this, he has an electromagnetic pulse, which is he gives out an EMP, which is interesting. A Godzilla that gives out an EMP. It's pretty much what the Mutos did. You know, cancels all electronic devices. He has an instant tissue regeneration. Now this is an interesting one because he can instantly regenerate from anything that gets hurt on him. Anything, which is intensively amazing. It's quite amazing. He's pretty much invincible at this point. He has a lack of skeletal frame. Well, what does this mean? A lack of skeletal frame means he can maneuver into ways of fighting, which is going to help him on the long run in many, many ways when he's fighting his opponent. Imagine having a lack of skeletal frame. The ways you can move to fight is just endless. It's up to infinity out there. He does have metallic tissue fibers, meaning it's very hard to penetrate his tissue. It's obviously a huge advantage for him. Imagine that. He has a natural camouflage, but you know, now these monsters are already fighting, so on and whatnot, so it's nothing special, right? And last but not least, he does have an oscillatory wave. It's a huge atomic-like breath, but it's not atomic breath. It's more like a sonic blast, you can say, right? It's more of a sonic blast he hits his opponents with, and it is definitely strong. I mean, imagine getting hit with a sonic blast. It's nothing fun. Okay, now we went over these two monsters. Let's go and put them into scenarios. Okay, starting off with in terms of this video, we're gonna go close range and far range, and we're gonna assess what their abilities best out of two. Excuse me. Sometimes what happens is we get a draw. If we get a draw, then we'll go to overtime. I'm not gonna waste time to explaining what we do in the draw. If it happens, then I'll explain it. But for now, we're just going for best out of two, and we'll see where that leads us from there. Okay. Oh, also, before I said, there's also a Scarlet Godzilla mode from the Nanometal. Okay. Now, starting from a far range perspective, right? Far range perspective, meaning, in terms of this video, we're gonna say 700 meters apart. Standing at 700 meters apart, they are not too far, but not too close. I mean, yeah, they're not too far from a monster's perspective, from two giant monsters just staring at each other, right? Now, what can these two monsters do to really protect themselves on this perspective of 700 meters? So let's look at Mecha Shin Gigan and see what he can and cannot use on a far range perspective ability. So, robotic adaptation, yeah, it doesn't require any specific, distance. I mean, you could be far and just adapt to anything, right? It really doesn't matter. Atomic lasers, 700 meters apart, definitely. EMP outflow, yes. Solar shield, yes. Weakness scan, yes. And hologramic cloning, yeah. Definitely. And to let you guys know, it is one of the monsters that really allowed all of the abilities to be used in a far distance fight. Usually most of my opponents that I create or get from viewers, from their creations, and we put them in the videos, most of them don't have. I've had a few that have it, but very few of them have all the abilities used in a far range. That's a huge advantage for Mecha Shin Gigan. So sending a far range ability. So what can Mecha Shin Gigan do? First of all, he will only fight, right? He's only going to fight a monster only if there's a sun out. So if the sun is not out, Mecha Shin Gigan refuses to fight because he will not have a shield on and cannot afford. He's a very high intelligent being and cannot afford to get injured. So yes, he will only fight when there is a sun out. So the sun is out. He has his solar shield on. He is shielded to the max, right? Okay. Robotic adaptation. Well, that's true. He can start immediately assessing Godzilla Earth in many ways, and adapting to the way he fights. So, for example, what does this mean? When Godzilla Earth, let's say, sends a charged particle breath at him, right? And for example, let's say it penetrates the shield and it hits Godzilla. I'm saying Godzilla hits Mecha Shin Gigan. Well, what happens is his robotic adaptation will start taking place, and what's gonna happen is he's gonna adapt his shield into a way where it's gonna stop that charged particle breath from entering his body. It's insane. It's truly magnificent on terms of adapting to a fight. And then he can keep on saying an EMP outflow. So what happens is, yes, Godzilla Earth sends out an EMP, but also his shield is made of an EMP essence. If Mecha Shin Gigan is sending out EMPs, well, what does EMP and EMP do? They're gonna cancel each other out, definitely. So Godzilla Earth shield is technically cancelled at this point. So what happens when his shield is cancelled? What happens is there's no shield. Oh, and then Mecha Shin Gigan can run a weakness scan, keep on running a weakness scan, and Mecha Shin Gigan only attacks his opponent's weak points. So yes, whatever he finds as a weakness for Godzilla Earth, he will use. Now, I'm gonna be honest here. In the anime of Godzilla, we are not introduced to Godzilla very well at all. The first anime film, we barely see Godzilla Earth. The second anime film, we barely see Godzilla Earth. The third anime film, Godzilla Earth defeats King Ghidorah with an atomic breath. We really don't get to explore the monster like we did in Shin Godzilla. So much deep ability. So I don't know what the disadvantages are of Godzilla Earth. The anime was done in such a lazy way that we didn't get anything. But Mecha Shin Gigan is here to save the day, and I think that assessing all of the weaknesses, Mecha Shin Gigan can definitely create anecdotes and ways of just taking him down. Very truly. And again, he can also create a hologramic cloning that is definitely gonna confuse Godzilla Earth. It's like I used to say Mecha Shin Godzilla. I mean, Mecha Shin Gigan, even taking out Shin Godzilla at this point, it's just insane. It is definitely insane. And that's another debate video. We can have a debate because both of these monsters have adaptations. That's gonna be very interesting. That's gonna be a very interesting one. So I'm gonna give a 1-0 to Mecha Shin Gigan for far range. Okay, let's go to close range. Now again, same thing. Close range, Mecha Shin Gigan can use every single ability because he used it in far range, which is usually what most monsters have a disadvantage. But here they have a advantage. So going after that, okay. Close range, standing right face to face, like what I'm doing with Mecha Godzilla here. So yes, strength-wise, Godzilla Earth will definitely outstrength Mecha Shin Gigan. But same thing is happening. EMP outflow, shield is gone from Godzilla Earth. Mecha Shin Gigan has a shield on. Godzilla Earth tries to punch him, shield is gonna block it. He is gonna do robotic adaptation. He's gonna use atomic lasers. He's gonna do the hologramic cloning, right? All in order. He's gonna confuse his opponent, and then once he has his opponent confused, his opponent is trying to fight the hologram. Boom! Turn on the weakness scan. Find the weakness, and then he's gonna blast at the weaknesses. Just keep on blasting. That's all it is, guys. I don't see a way. I just see him as defeating him. So I'm gonna go 2-0 in favor of Mecha Shin Gigan. But it's not over. This is just my opinion. If you guys have any other ideas of the fight coming out, but if you're gonna compare these with monsters, I will put the abilities of Mecha Shin Gigan in the comment section below. I mean, not the comment section, excuse me, the description. I always do, so you can check the description. So if you're gonna make a debate out of this in the comment section, go ahead and make it and let me know. I'm really curious to see what you guys think from all of these debates. But most importantly, guys, leave requests, and also I just want to say thank you for watching this video. It really means a lot. Leave requests, guys. Let me know what you guys think. Comment, share, and subscribe. And most importantly, guys, if you guys would like a shout out, I like to help others out. If you want a shout out, do not be afraid to comment. As I said, just try to make it a comment in this video only, because I like to check this video. It makes it easier for me, and try to make it a separate comment. If someone comments, can I have a shout out? Don't respond to their comment saying, can I have two? I do usually see that, but sometimes it makes it harder for me to see it. So just try to make it a separate comment. But if I have given you a shout out in this video, if you want another shout out, please, there is no limits to shout outs. If you want one again, leave it in the comment section below. I will be more than happy. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching, and as always, have a great day and take care, guys. Be safe.